Hello again and welcome back to the Clown's Pocket. Today's video is going to be me showing you how to easily modify a standard store-bought craft blade to use as a peripheral with your SOG PowerPint or PowerLitre. It's quick and easy to do, requiring only a Dremel type tool or file and a hot glue gun. And the best part about it is that you don't need to modify your SOG Multitool in any way to actually do this. The idea came from a subscriber's comment in a previous video where I was doing the same with T-Shank jigsaw blades and implements. That's up here if you want to see how to do that. Anyway, after seeing me adapt a T-Shank scalpel holder, he suggested doing this with craft blades directly onto the PowerPint without an adapter. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So I have found that the best way to get the craft blade in here is in this direction as opposed to in this direction. That's so that you can get the angle of usage like this. If it were in the other direction, you would have to be at a steeper angle to use the blade. What that means is that the aperture that the blade will have to go into is from here to here, which I can tell you is about 7 millimeters. Of the blades that I have, these ones here are too thin. That's like 6 millimeters there, as are these. But we have these ones, all of these here that can be used. These are currently 9 millimeters. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking this number 22 blade and taking a couple of millimeters off the bottom here. I want the blade to go all the way down to between the crimpers, so I'm going to have to trim it up to about this point here. So I'll mark that up and then get it in the vise and trim off some of that excess material. So taking a fine permanent marker, I'm going to make my mark here and at about 2 millimeters in depth, and then draw a line all the way across that. And then fill it in. Now when I start removing the material, I'm going to do it a little bit at a time and then check to see if it fits in with the PowerPint rather than removing it all at once and finding I've overshot the mark. These blades are very thin, so before you put them in a vise, it's worth protecting them. I'm going to use this Ranger band, just a bit of bicycle inner tube material, and use that to hold and grip it in place while I'm removing this excess material. So while I'm up and about, for anyone wanting a glimpse behind the curtain, this is my L-shaped desk that I built myself from boards that I salvaged from a call center that was being closed and dismantled. That's my vise and the Dremel, some artwork there from my family. That's actually the whiteboard. I've covered that up so you can't see what videos I'm going to do next. I have my Boba Fett collection on a shelf up there, letting my freak flag fly. I'm sure you've seen the posters on the wall behind my desk. And yes, I made those shelving units as well. My multi-tools and equipment are all tidied up away in those boxes. And yeah, that's where the magic happens. All right, so here we are getting it into the vise. And here we go with the grinding wheel of the Dremel. Let's test that. Nope, a little bit more. Let's try now. Nope, still not making it. No worries. Best to do this slowly anyhow. Okay, hopefully this time we've got it. Yeah, And that's quite snug. Okay, very good. So hopefully you can see that there. We've got a good fit. Okay, so that's the trimming part all done. Now what we need to do is build a hex bit around this so that the jaws of the hex bit adapter on the SOG PowerPint or PowerLitre can grip it nice and tightly, thanks to that super strong gearing mechanism that multiplies the force in the handles and really grips tightly onto anything in here. So what we're going to do now is build the hex bit around this and get it into the SOG PowerPint. And what we need to do first is to open the PowerPint just about 1 millimeter there, and then we are going to fill that hole with hot glue. Now, no one get your knickers in a twist. We've done this on multiple occasions. The PowerPint has never suffered. We've done this making jigsaws adaptable for the PowerPint and many other implements. So we take the hot glue gun. We have to make sure that the glue is nice and hot so it runs freely. And we get it into the hole and just pump it up. Doesn't matter if there's excess. And then very quickly, we need to get this in before it sets. So all the way down to the bottom, like that. And then we start cleaning the excess, making sure that this is set correctly. So this has to be straight, that looks good. And then just with our thumb, with this glue still hot, start trimming away from here, underneath the gearing mechanism, because that will hinder us when we try and take it out. So we want to get rid of those little nubs. And we can use a sharp blade to do that. We need to free it here better for it to come out. So free it up from around the cogs. Let's get rid of some of this on here and on here, because that's going to stick and it's going to impede us when opening. So here we go. Do not hurt yourself. Use a plier to hold it if you're worried about cutting yourself. But here we are slowly opening up the jaws of the PowerPint and pushing through. There we go, it's coming. Get a good old grip on it and pull. And there we are. So there we can see that there is a rather rudimentary hex bit with a load of extraneous glue all the way around here, around this craft blade, which we now need to clean up. We're also going to need to get rid of any glue that is stuck here on the gearing mechanism, but as it cools, this is really easy to get rid of. And you just keep opening and closing the PowerPint to get that glue to come up to the surface, and it's as right as rain in no time. Back to the hex bit. So what we need to do now is we're going to need to be able to get this in and out fairly quickly. For that to happen, we have to get rid of all of these extraneous bits. Using my 91mm Victorinox scissors, which are very good for this kind of thing. We're clearing off any little protrusions. These nubs here gotta go. That will stop us getting this back into place inside the hex adapter. So yep, that's got to go. Let's use the scalpel as well. Careful not to cut yourself. We just need to get in there and keep trimming. That's a big lump there that's not necessary at all. You can't really overdo this because the SOG PowerPint is going to grip this very well. So these extra little bits here on the sides, they're not necessary either. That can go. And this is starting to look more and more like a nice hex bit. Getting rid of little bits of excess, little nubs on the sides that may be stopping it going all the way down. Here's one here. That's got there, well, that'll help a lot. And then on this side as well, we just take a bit more off there. Right, let's have a look at this.
and see how we're doing. That's much easier. So there, that goes all the way down and it goes into between the crimpers, which is exactly what we wanted.
And there you have it, a highly functional craft blade that can be easily swapped in and out of the PowerPint or the PowerLitre using only the SOG's onboard hex adapter. Now, I'm not suggesting they replace traditional craft blade handles on your modeler's workbench, but having a couple of these handy when you're out and about with your PowerPint is very useful indeed. And although weaker, these blades are often sharper than standard utility blades, will get the job done in a pinch, and they're good to carry with you along with your SOG adapted jigsaw blades and files. Whoops. With one of these, you could do precise cuts on wallpaper around fixtures, strip cables in crowded, difficult to reach parts of the house, and even do an emergency appendectomy on next door's award-winning Syrian hamster, or whatever. You get the idea. Also, there's a huge variety of applicable blade shapes at this size. This is just a small sample, but we've got scalpel blades, deburring blades, and this one's a fine work chisel. Anyhow, I hope you found this useful. I've put some links up here for my latest video, which was on the Rocks on Flex, and my playlist for adapting T-Shank jigsaw blades and files and other implements for the SOG PowerPint and the PowerLitre. In the next week or so, I'll be putting up reviews on, among others, the Leatherman Skeletal CX, the Wuben G5 EDC flashlight, and as a special treat for my PowerLitre friends, I will be adapting the closest T-Shank tool to a serrated blade that I've been able to find for use with the SOG PowerPint and PowerLitre. So please like, share and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again on the Clown's Pocket. Thanks for watching.